Alright guys, we are back. This is Bike Talk episode 29, I think. Let's get straight into it. First up, we got Aziz, and yeah, he just didn't put anything in the subject, so he didn't put review or roast, so let's take a look. This is basically his bike. He said he did it up. Overall, I think looks pretty good. Just the normal things. No crank arm isn't straight. Bottle not in bottle cages. Handlebars not straight. Seat angle down. Yeah, such a shame. I think he did a good job fixing it up. It's a nice, he upgraded the wheel set and upgraded the cranks and the rear mech. It looks like an old bike that he redid. But yeah, just overall, just missing all those key things. So thanks for sending Aziz. Looks like it's also filmed in like a public toilet. Like they got, yeah, it just seems kind of strange. Seems like a hotel or something. These doors looks like, yeah, just male and female toilet or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for sending in. Alright, next up we got Dante, and he sent in a few things as well. He said roast for his subject, so let's take a look at side pick. Alright, here's his bike. I'd say saddle isn't straight. It's got bottle in bottle cages, but he's got the wrong brands on there. You can see he's got a Cannondale bottle, which is pretty sick, I think, this old type. This is a Specialized. It looks like kind of face here, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Got a roast in for the valve not being straight. His crank arm is straight, but it's on the wrong side. I'll let him get away with that. The spoke count here, non-matching spoke counts, non-matching cleanness of tires. Front one's dirtier. Non-matching cables. Using zip ties for the brake cable instead of just doing it the proper way. And then just the reflector here, and then left the cable hanger on the front. So yeah, overall not too bad though. Thanks Dante. Alright, next up is Ben, and looks like he did a bit of a restoration on this kind of like a hard rubbish find probably. He said review, so I just do a normal review. Yeah, pretty good job, Dante. Nice job. Looks pretty good. Looks like he upgraded almost everything on the bike. A little bit too much matching blue for me, but if you like it, that's cool. And yeah, it seems like it'd be a pretty nice ride. You basically upgraded everything, so I assumed the bike would ride pretty sick. Cool, nice job. Thanks, Ben. Alright, next up is Jesse. Jesse says he likes my stinky restoration. Thanks, Jesse. And he said roast, so let's take a look. Alright, first up, taking your bike pick next to a piece of graffiti. Seems a little bit overplayed. Non-drive side shot, crank arm not straight, no bottles. I think basically your exposure's too high. Overall, pretty sick though. I think it'd be a pretty fun ride. I do like the geo kind of setup. I like the saddle pushed all the way forward and the handlebar kind of probably matching the same angle as the TT. But yeah, just the single speed might make it a little bit slower for you. And then you got non-matching tires as well. So yeah, just a little bit too cute there. I can see what you're trying to do, match it with the grips. But yeah, looks like a fast bike. Next one, Jesse. Alright, next one is Ray. Ray said review, so normal review. Pretty cool stem here. I think this is a Cooks Bros dog bone stem. Pretty rare. Ross bike, pretty rare. Shame about the cool bike, but then you got these yeah, low pedals on here. I like the front rack, that looks cool. And then you got some slightly sweeping bars, friction shifters, looks like 3x7, classic. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. Missing bottle cage, crank arm not straight. But you're resting it on here, so I'll let you get away with that. Yeah, overall pretty cool. You could straighten up that basket a little bit, but looks pretty sick. I'd ride this bike. Kind of has a cool vibe to it. And yeah, thanks Ray. Alright, next up is Billy. Billy sent, he just wants a review on his bike. Just the same thing again. No bottles in bottle cages, crank arm not straight. I do like the I do like these bottle cages, these old style with kind of like the square plastic bit. I think that looks pretty cool. Quick release lever going up, quick release lever going down here on the wrong side. Overall, I like the color scheme. I think it looks pretty cool. It does have a lot of pink, but I don't think it's too bad for this build just because the tones kind of match. But I'd say the spaces, they don't match, so maybe just replace those spaces there. I think the bars are tilted too far forward, but maybe that's good for your wrist if it's a small bike for you. Yeah, just a few artistic close-up shots. You can see that he's missing a brake cable here. But yeah, pretty good overall. Nice, looks like a fun bike. Cheers, Billy. Alright, next up is Tim. Tim says, hey, love the videos. Thanks, Tim. And he wants a roast. So roasting this kind of, I feel like Tim's probably like an older fella, because this looks like he took some photos with his 35mm and then posted up on a piece of paper and then scanned it in. These remind me of old film photos. Basically a surly bike. Yeah, looks good. Got a little tiny little it's got a tiny little bag here. It seems kind of redundant. Just use the basket. Crank arm is straight, bottle in bottle cage. That's great. Saddle pointing a little bit upwards. I think that's okay for this build. I'll let it slide. Matching rims, matching tires. XT on the back. Yeah, pretty sweet ride. Not too much to roast. I think the main roast is this little bag. I feel like this doesn't go with the whole bike. Maybe you can see the red bottle as well, but the photos are so small I can't see what that bottle is. Oh, it looks like some udon rip-off graphic. So I guess that's okay. The power blue with the red, I mean. Nice, Tim. Thanks for sending that in. Also, these logs. It's funny, I don't know, when people take pictures, these logs make this bike look like a basically miniature toy bike for some reason. I don't know if anyone else sees that. Alright, Tim, thanks. Alright, next up is Kyle, and he says roast. So let's see. Yeah, pretty sick bike overall. He wants me to roast it up. Alright, so first gonna roast you with this e-bike battery pack bag on there. It's a fast bike, but if you use a e-bike battery, you're gonna lose all respect. Non-matching bottles with bike, so he's got some matte bottles there, but he has matching colors, which is good. Using Avids with the carbon fork, Chris King headset, Thompson post setback, but it's getting a little bit short right on the setback. I feel like that's an issue. He's got a white fight and white grip, so you can tell he definitely doesn't ride this bike at all, just by how white these two things are. Yeah, that saddle's brand new. Look at that. So white. Got a little fender on the back. Got some Hunt rims. Yeah, overall pretty sick build. Pretty light. Running SRAM Apex. Pretty sick. Yeah, the main thing is this bag. This looks like, yeah, e-bike steez. Don't know if I'm into that. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Nice one, Kyle. Alright, next up is Alpha. He said review or roast. So let's see. Looks like a pretty clunky clunker. Yeah, bent bars. How did he get this? Get the bars in there? I feel like he would have to bend this open. Yeah, that's pretty sketchy. Heavy rims, heavy cranks, pin cranks. Can't get those off. He did put a new saddle on here. I think the saddle probably cost more than the entire bike. So yeah, my recommendation is basically just sell the saddle and then get rid of this bike, and then you can buy a better bike. Alright, thanks, Alfart. Alright, next up is Matt. Matt says, love the channel. Thanks, Matt. He just wants a review, so let's see. I like this D-lock thing. Looks pretty cool. Also handy just to grab it in and out. I also like how he matched his grips with his lock. And then he's got a on-one frame, pretty nice frame with some carbon straight forks. I feel like the A to C ratio is probably like slightly shorter, but it might be alright. Got quick release on the other side here. Chain tension here looks a little tight, I would say. And yeah, overall looks pretty sick though. It looks like a pretty fun ride. Looks light, the bike looks pretty light. Got some, these look like Mavics or something. Can't really see. But yeah, nice bike. Thanks, Matt. Alright, next up is Nick, and he says review. Yeah, overall pretty sick. Crank arm straight, bottom bottle cage, matching colors. Got the little blue cable end here with the blue brake boost on the front. Doesn't have a matching stem though, but yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that's really off with it. I like the suspension seat post. I like this saddle. I like the bars. I can't really see them, but I think they look pretty cool. Cable work is also nice. Looks like both of your valves are slightly crooked. These are Fairdale bars, I think. I could be wrong. All right, Nick. So yeah, shout out Nick and Katie, content creators, fellow content creators. All right, thanks, Nick. All right, next up is David. David's back, non-drive side. If you don't know him from the comments. Okay, first of all, what did he say? He said roast. So, all right, first of all, I got to roast him for this seat. Did he move the seat so the basket could fit? But I don't know. I feel like he would be sliding his down forward so much. When I see people with seats like this, I just feel like your knees would hurt a lot. But he's got the sweat bars, pretty nice, and yeah, nice cable work. The frame looks pretty beat up, but looks pretty solid. Got some LX on there. No bottle in bottle cage here. Cassette and rings look pretty dirty, but this whole bike looks pretty dirty, so yeah, it's pretty decent though. I think David's known for taking like trash bikes and build them up, but most people would say they're pretty shitty. But like if you look at the stance of it overall, it's pretty good. You can definitely tell someone who's into bikes that is building them. Got some slicks, got some blurry close-up shots. Give me the bird. That's him. Shout out non-drive side. Running 84% battery, still going good. Running Instagram 2 times on his phone. This big ring looks pretty new. Looks like he doesn't use it at all though, so probably doesn't go that fast. Got it for $50, so maybe this was after. Yeah, more pics. Looks like it came with the bag as well. You can see David definitely uses it. And yeah, nice bike. Thanks, David. All right, next up is Michael. Yeah, it's Mikey. Shout out Mikey, sent me some bar pics. He just wants a review, so bar looks pretty cool. I think he sent me these on Instagram, but it looks pretty fun. I'm wondering if you ever use these top bits as different hand positions on the front, but you can put your bottle bag in there. Pretty sweet setup overall. No bottle in bottle cages. Crank arm slightly off. Got to get him for that. He's got a chain lock that locks his saddle to his rack. So I think that's pretty neat. I haven't seen that for a while. That used to be an old school trick. And this cable work looks pretty good. Got an old school Bontrager bag, JBL speaker. And yeah, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet build. Nice one, Mikey. Alright, next up is Pat. And he wants a roast. So first roast, I got to roast him for putting disc tabs on this old frame. Just basically overkill. Gonna roast him for being too artistic. Having having everything match too tastefully with the leaves and the tires and the frame color and also the background. I'd say the background probably has too much yellow in it, but you know, Patrick can't get everything right. Cool stance, got old belt, the saddle's straight, bottom bottle cage. Here's more close-up pics. I'd say gonna roast him for this cable being a little bit wonky here. That'll probably bug him, I think. And then yeah, once you run the disc tabs, then you got no use for this, so you may as well cut these off. Looks like he used it for the cable, but the cable's getting close to the tire. Same with the back. I don't know if that's tasteful or not. Close up of the illegal move right here, and then he's got a lot of rust on his pedals. But yeah, overall looks pretty cool. This looks like a nice little scene. Looks like a little crazy house that crazy stuff happens in there. Pretty scary, to be honest, but yeah, that's his bike. Nice one, Pat. Thanks for sending in. All right, Henrik, feel free to roast. Okay, this is his bike. Looks pretty cool. I like the basket. It looks like a wall basket with a custom, yeah, it looks like a custom bottom on the basket. Looks like he threaded some thread there to make it so that things wouldn't fall off. I feel like this is kind of overkill though. Like, the basket already has some type of grid. You don't need an extra grid on there, or put down a mat if you're scared. And yeah, just the twine doesn't match his whole bike. I don't think there's no, like, you know, Rivendell grips on here or anything, so I feel like the twine is way off. Fenders are good, crank arm not straight, bottle, no bottle cage, just the same type of fences for every pick, for every bike. Too much rust here in the stem bolt, no accessory on accessory mount. I do like these XT levers, however I hate grip shift, so maybe take those off. But yeah, overall pretty nice. Looks like a nice grocery shopper. I would roast you for this, but you already know what's going on there. All right, thanks, Henrik. All right, Leonardo. His name's Leo. Just wants a review. All right, pretty sick. Bridgestone, borrowing bottle cages, or packed out for this one. Crank arm looks straight. Cable looks pretty nice. Cable work looks pretty nice. Missing a little cap there, but got the Brooks on there. Also mostly color matching. Looks like he likes WWF and Parps Blue Ribbon. There's a rear shot. Looks pretty comfy ride. I feel like your levers are tilted down maybe a tad too much, but maybe he's like super tall, so his angle of his arms comes straight down. But yeah, overall pretty sick, I think. There it is. Crank arm not actually straight, so sorry about that. All right, thanks, Leo. All right, next up is Isaac. Isaac says roast. So yeah, this is his Nishiki. All right, side pick, looks pretty sick. First roast, bottle too small, and saddle slammed all the way back. Crank arm not straight again. I think it'd be so funny if I just skipped every bike with crank arm not straight. Looks like he matched the spoke count, which is good. Matching tires. Got some nice funky cables there, lime green, to try to match this, match the logo, but you know, obviously is a different green. Here's a brighter picture. Still crank arm not straight. Crank arm not straight. 100 GS. It's pretty funny. Alright, that's it. Overall pretty nice though. You can tell with the shorter stem probably a bit more comfy, but then he's got his saddle all the way back, so maybe you could use a longer stem after all. Alright, thanks Isaac. Thanks for sending. Next one is Henry. Henry says roast. And this is his bike. Alright, let's see. No bottle cage, no bottle in bottle cage, crank arm not straight, pedal not matching, grip shift. Saddle slammed too far forward using gut seat post. He's got non-matching rims, running some low range derailleur. Got a lot of range though, which is good. Matching tires though, they look like good tires. And stem, I'd say, is probably too long because you're tilting your bars forward. So yeah, overall I think the bike is just too small. It's too big, so you can shorten the stem, and yeah, I feel like that would help heaps. Alright, next one, Henry. Alright, next up is Dylan. Dylan says roast. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like it broke and then he re-welded it on. Looks kind of funky. Roast you for having this type of style on this black mountain cycle frame, which is quite a premium frame, I think. Same with the premium cranks and premium tires. Overall, pretty sweet though. Gonna roast you for your cable work going down here. I feel like he probably changed his bars at some point, but the cables are like so long. The cables are messy here. It's got a barrel adjuster here for the front mech. Let's see another pick. Front looks pretty good. I think I like this pick a bit better. As you can see the controls here, it looks pretty cool. The cockpit looks nice, but I think, yeah, just the cables are too long. Like the one issue with the cables being too long is every time you try to put something in your basket, you're gonna hit your cables. But yeah, overall pretty sick bike. I do like the lighter tan war tires. I think they're the superior tan war tire. They look better and they perform better. So that's a little bike mechanic tip of 20 years. Alright, John Watson says, where can I get a bike like this? I don't know if this is the real John Watson or just a fake one, but I don't know where you can get it, but it seems expensive. I feel like this is like an AI bike, so we'll do next bike. Alright, Noah sent roast my bike. It's a 87 Hard Rock. Alright, this looks pretty sweet. In gravel. Derail is taking a lot of work right there. It's almost like vertical. And he's only on his middle ring, so I feel like that's going to be an issue. It shouldn't go straight down like that, I don't think. Got his custom arts and craft project down here on his chainstay. No bottom bottle cage, double up, no cargo bottle in cargo cage. Another arts and crafts project up the top here. Got the old style saddle. Here's the front. Nice twine work there. Definitely A plus for its arts subject. Brakes are looking good. Feel like people do this when there's just like nothing left to do on their bike, so they do stuff like this. I'll let you guys judge for yourself. Cockpit looks good. Bar ends look good. Pedals look good. Yeah, this is so fresh. You can see there's like no dirt on it. The twine is like perfect. He's definitely proud of this one, so don't give him any props for that. Yeah, there's the bike. Looking sweet. Thanks, Noah. Alright, next up is Andre. And looks like he got himself a kind of like a fake Eddie Merck. You can tell by the dropouts and yeah, just the paint finish on it. Definitely fake. And yeah, crank arm not straight, pedal not straight. Not sure why I put a friction shifter for here, for a 3-speed. Got to roast him for that using an Eddie Merck road frame, making it kind of a single and having no brakes on the front. I would respect the no brakes for the fixed gear, but yeah, it's a 3-speed, so not sure about the choice on that. But yeah, overall pretty sick though. I like the paint scheme, black and gold, feel like the saddle doesn't really match the era of the everything else on the bike. So I feel like that's a little bit off. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Here's the real Eddie Merck that he had. So he kind of took the real one, took a picture of the real one on the internet, and then just built up, resprayed just like an older style frame, and then rebadged it. So yeah, he's running a super fake Eddie Merck here, and this is the real one. So yeah, if you ever see this out on the streets, just make sure you tell him this frame is fake. Thanks, Andre. Thanks for sending in. All right, next up is Avinash, and he said review because it's too easy to roast. So let's see if we can get a side pick. All right, yeah, overall pretty sick, I think. I like the tires, and I like the large range on the back. I feel like your chain is a little tight though. Overall seems pretty sick. Got the front rack, got the bag, got super cockpit on the front, got everything going on. Multiple grip positions, multiple bottle positions. Looks like he does a lot of, I feel like you do like bike packing or touring on this, but I feel like he should put a rear rack. I feel like this is like super front heavy. He's got some custom cover on his saddle as well. Let's see. Yeah, pretty cool. Running Dior. No cap on it though. Yeah, running Ultra Dynamico tires. Nice tires. But yeah, overall pretty sick. Looks interesting for sure. Got the Beats by Dre or JBL speaker as well. And then the zero setback stem with the crossbars. This is pretty this is pretty cool. He's probably got an accessory from every decade here. Pretty sweet. It's definitely a historian, this one. All right, nice one, Avinash. All right, next up is Matt Trev, and he says bike talk. So he says roast. So he's basically just an older style frame. I'm just gonna say his grips are too dirty compared to the rest of his bike. Running XH, low range XH. I feel like he could upgrade that a little bit. He's got bottle in bottle cage, and he's got crank arms relatively straight, but the pedal is slightly off. I'm definitely not into these reflectors at all, and he can use some new tires. These tires they're gonna go. Maybe he could use an entire new wheel set, to be honest. Feel like these levers are kind of suspect with this frame, and then the saddle is off as well. Not sure what's going on here. Little DIY paint job going on here with some dirty tape again. I feel like this bike kind of tricks you. Like when you first look at this bike from far away, you're like, oh, that's a sick bike. But then when you get closer, like everything you look at, you're like, oh, this is not that good. And then you look at the stem, that's not that good. He kind of painted the top, didn't paint the bottom. And then you're like, these levers aren't that good either. But you wonder because you're like, oh, he's got a Suntour XC seat post, which is probably, yeah, the best bit on the bike, I think. But yeah, at least he's got his quick release on the right side. But yeah, overall, looks pretty cool. Looks like you got an old bike and did it up. And yeah, looks like you enjoy it. Cheers, Matt. All right, next up, looks like it's in Russian or something. So it's Komi HNCT. We'll just call him Com. And he just says roast me on his bike. Okay, so first up, bar's not in the right position for a racing bike. Empty bottles in bottle cages. I guess this seat actually matches the era, which is good. Slammed forward for that racy feel. Running 2 spaces here, gonna get roasted by your race friends. Here's another front pick, a little bit closer up. got the tilted in lever for the road racing bar trend, but he's got these levers tilted all the way up, so he's going to lose whatever aero gains he gets anyway. Got some zip and Thompson on his Colnago, and just going to roast him for the last shot, being too blurry, too artistic for me. Nice little pick of the pointy saddle. Running some brakes with some fresh wheels but no valve cap. Look at that rim. This is brand new. It looks like fresh rims and fresh tires. Running 105, classic. Yeah, overall pretty sick. I think this is a nice bike. Yeah, I'm not really into the setup of this kind of setup of the angle going upwards, but maybe it's more for comfort. But yeah, the wheel upgrade with the frame, and then I think it's only got FSA cranks, but this will be a pretty fast and light bike for sure. Nice one, Com. Thanks for sending. All right, another Russian name. It's like Mac CNM. I don't know. I'm just gonna say your name is Mac, and Mac said roast. So first of all, I gotta roast you for this terrible frame, the frame paint work. I don't like, if you had a choice and you chose to paint this, I'm not sure you should be painting bikes at all. This has got to be the worst bike paint job I've seen ever. Like if you squint and just painted this bike black, it actually would be a pretty sick bike. I think like tires are good, the wheels are good, the, you know, slightly tilted bars are pretty good, the cables are long, of course, but it would look a pretty good bike if it was in black or silver. But yeah, this paint job, this speaks like, I don't know, it's just so bad. He probably didn't know whether to paint it purple or paint it blue, and then just did half. But yeah, it looks like something out of like Willy Wonka. Definitely not something I would ride. Yeah, long cables here again. Nice tires though, I'll give you that. Artistic shot, looks like in Europe somewhere. And then custom headset cap and anodized headset. But yeah, overall, pretty sick stance though. If you squint and just like try not to look at the color, it's pretty sick stance overall. So nice job on that. All right, this is the last one. This is Matt, and he says roast. So this is his clunker. Pretty sick. I'd say probably slightly too much rust on this bike. Non-matching rims, non-matching brakes, pedals and purple grips are not matching this bike again. Non-drive side shot. This seat post looks kind of cool, but I think it's the old Guts one. Moto bars. I like the stem though. I think the stem is sick. Yeah, just too rusty on this one. And then yeah, here's the front of the bike. It's a clunker. Yeah, just too much rust overall. He's got maybe too much slack on his chain as well, but yeah, just the rust is crazy. It just looks like so dirty. It's the type of bike that you see and then like afterwards you just feel like you got to take a shower or something. Just feel like secondhand dirtiness. All right, that's basically it. Hope you guys liked it. There's still a lot to go. Everyone's still sending in, so yeah, hopefully I do some soon, and hope you liked it. Thanks Matt for sending. Thanks for watching, and peace.